Good morning. Beautiful day in the garden. All sorts of little squash and pumpkins poking out. This is a glorious morning that is hinting at fall. It's only in the 50s. I was able to actually wear jeans and put on boots, and it's awesome. Peppermint bed being taken over by a spider. Should have trimmed this back a long time ago, but the honeybees were all over this yesterday and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. That poor kale. I'm hoping that as the weather cools, whatever's eating it will die off, and maybe this fall it will revive and get me some good greens. Love this big old stump. Top of the weather vane, just getting hit by the sun. Got it cleaned up around here yesterday. Weed whacked all the grass and clover that's growing. Got to watch some birds take a bath in a bird bath yesterday. It was so darn cute. There's like 4 or 5 of them. The sparrows that live up in the birdhouses by the house come all back in a group. And they fly back to the tree above my seat. And they kind of look around, and then they decide they want to come back and, fly over to the bird bath. A little flutter of wings. So pretty this morning. I don't know if I've got any more cucumbers over here or not. Ew. What happened to this one? It's kind of a weird looking one. Ew, it's all rotty. This whole plant's about gone. I'll pop that in there for the chickens. Oh, there's a couple more growing up there at the top. I don't think it'll focus on the spider web here, but kitty cat, what are you meowing about? Sassy the garden kitty. Patch, little stinker that she is, she was pregnant a while back, and we thought for sure that she'd had her kittens, and we didn't see them. We don't know where she had them. She just was no longer pregnant. We weren't sure if the kittens made it or not. Didn't know if she just had like 1 or 2 and abandoned them. We weren't sure what was up with that, because normally they just have them in the little cat house up on the patio. And we get to see them and pet them from day one. And the other day she showed up bringing kittens one by mouth, carrying them up from the barn. And little stinker had 6 of them. 2 orange with a little bit of white on them, and 4 with varying patterns of black and white. These are the mystery beans that we planted. They do look like they probably would have been a fresh eating bean, but we'll leave them for seeds. See what kind of... You're going to get yourself tangled in there, you silly cat. A couple of little yellow zucchini coming on still. The comfrey here, I usually break off a few leaves and throw that in with the chickens. give them some nutrition. Throw them in with the chicks too. Hopefully, if I remember, tonight after work, the chicks will be going into the coop. I think they're finally big enough now. Sage is looking lovely. I think they're finally big enough now that they won't be able to get through the fence. And hopefully, the other chickens will be nice to them. So we got this corner cleaned out a little bit. I'll come back to the peppers here in a bit. Pineapple sage and lemongrass are always lovely. I still only have one little pumpkin on my miniature pumpkin vine. I did snap off some of the leaves on this Malabar spinach the other day. Pardon me, a mosquito on my arm. And had those as part of a wrap. And they were delicious, of course. Some more of this amaranth. Little zinnia up in here. A couple of them. A couple more over there. Little tangerine and lemon gem marigolds are looking like they're about to start putting out some more blossoms. That little amaranth didn't do a whole lot this year. I'm thinking about coming in, and again, I keep putting it off. I want to come in and trim all of my mints, but these flowers, the pollinators are loving them. And so I just kind of dread the idea of trimming them all off. Thai basil flowers attract them too. I need to pick a few more tomatoes off of here before I do my pouring, scoring, and freezing of my tomatoes for the day. Little noodle beans are coming up. I don't know if they'll have time to do anything, but it's still fun to see stuff growing. Again, I gotta cut these suckers off. These things have spikes on them. And I don't know what they are. They're probably that plant that years ago I tried to plant a few of them. Not back here. I'm not sure how they got back here. And they have purple flowers in the spring, but I picked most of the jalapenos off of those. Catnip needs to be trimmed, but again, the pollinators love it. Sorry for jerking the camera. The mosquitoes are after me. Now that John's gone, they're coming after me. These ginger plants look lovely. Again, they won't have time to do much, but that little turmeric plant. I don't know if I'll get any more 8-ball zucchinis off of there. I should cut that out, and I have from the other day up. See how it tastes with scrambled up eggs or in a quiche or something. I have a volunteer. Well, that's not a volunteer tomato. Where did I see the volunteer tomato? Over here. Right there is a little volunteer tomato. But chicken pen. Oh, don't look at my junk. That's my junky pile. I need to go through all that and sort out what I'm going to keep. The peanuts are still looking lovely. Once they start dying back, we'll dig the peanuts out from the tires. But yeah, I need to go through all that stuff in my junk pile, and whatever I'm going to keep, I need to store in the greenhouse for the winter. That sort of thing. More tomatoes growing. I probably have a few I could pick today. I don't know if I'll pick this mortgage lifter yet, or if I'll let it keep ripening on the vine, but there's some more along here. It looks like I could pick a couple of triple crops, pork chop. There's some Dr. Witchy's yellows that look like they're about ready. So pretty. There's a triple crop. It's split though. I'm not sure how well those will store if they're split. These pork chops are just lovely. San Marzanos. I don't know if there might be a couple up there near the top that are ready. And then these Paul Robeson, they develop such lovely color. My poor tomatillo split right there, so I don't know if this half's gonna keep doing anything or not, but I'm gonna leave it and let it do its thing. These little heirloom, rainbow heirlooms. One of them appears to be an orange. I'm not sure which kind that is, but we'll wait and see. We'll probably grab some more cherry tomatoes off of there. We'll sneak in here in the greenhouse. Ugh. I moved the grain in here for the animals. Spend most of my time out here in the garden, in the garden anyway. So these goji berries, I'm still not sure where I want to plant those. That spider plant I need to get transplanted into a nice pot for hanging in the house. These 4 plants will probably all die here in the greenhouse. It's too late to get them planted up somewhere. This pepper is starting to turn color. They never got, sorry for jerking the camera, more mosquitoes. They never got really long like I expected them to. A few of them kind of did. The other pretty and sweet plants did. Here are the chicks that a friend of a friend gave me. I guess they got them and they live in town, and I don't know, either they discovered they couldn't keep them or something. At least 3 of them look to be Cornish cross. These 2 bigger ones. There's another big one tucked around in a corner somewhere, I think. Oh, it's way back there. So they'll probably end up in the freezer. And there's this little white one and a couple of reddish ones back there. And then there's one that looks like a black Australope, the one on the right that has the yellow chin under there. And the other 2 dark ones, I'm guessing a Wyandotte of some sort. Maybe a Seabright. They look a little big for Seabright, so maybe a Wyandotte of some sort. I'm not sure. So, I'm not sure what kind of red ones they are. They could be Ida Reds, they could be Rhode Island Reds, they could be, I don't know, Production Reds, they could be anything. I have no idea where they came from originally or what hatchery, but hey, I'll add them to the flock. I think they're all big enough now they can't sneak out of the fence. Hopefully the new flock will be nice to them when I put them in with them tonight. So we'll see how it goes. And then once I get them out of here, I can dump all those wood chips on the compost pile. Although I've debated whether or not to just use this as a compost bin. I don't know. Maybe add other stuff to this and just let it compost right in there. Wouldn't be a bad idea, having a compost corner in the garden. Of course, I could just add dirt to it and in the spring plant in here. It's not a bad idea either. I'll figure it out. Still got to get all these peas figured out. Have this lovely spearmint. It's going to be a house plant. I need to turn that back because I want it to look pretty in the house for winter. And my plant from Lily. So, oh, so pretty with the sun shining out there. All these, I don't know if y'all can see them or not. All these plants are Jerusalem artichokes. I planted a few when I attempted to have a garden back here behind the zebra grass, and they have completely taken over. So if you think people are joking when they say that Jerusalem artichokes are invasive and will spread like crazy, just let me tell you, they're not lying. I have these 2 zebra grasses. I've got 2 more way over there. And all I planted was maybe 5 or 6. And they were on to the left of those big zebra plants. little garden patch that I had one year. And now look at all these Jerusalem artichokes just taking over. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you want like a reliable food source. I still haven't dug any of these up to try eating them yet, but seriously, folks, if you don't want them to take over, you have to put them in some sort of a raised bed, some sort of a barrier to keep them from spreading, because this is crazy. This is all, now when these start blooming, it's going to be lovely. They look like mini sunflowers. They have all sorts of blooms on each plant. And it'll be beautiful, but I really wanted a path along the greenhouse here. I wanted a path on either side of the zebra grass, because if I can get a path, at least I'd like it on either side of the zebra grass so you could walk on either side. But oh, this grass is so beautiful. Look at this. Oh, the dew on it. That is just lovely. Anyway, distracted by my garden. Like Jess on Roots and Refuge says, you want your garden to woo you, and mine definitely does. But anyway, if I have the path along the greenhouse, between the greenhouse and the zebra grass, it'll lead straight back to my little garden shed alongside the asparagus bed, which is on the other side of that wild rose and all those weeds. So I'd love to have a little path straight through here. Someday, I'm hoping all of this back here will end up being gardens. But it's I'm going to have to figure out how to get this stuff under control. That's kind of crazy. If anybody has ideas, let me know. I'm getting more of a mess back here, too. Alright, on with the garden tour. So, I need to sneak back over here. Here's my lovely sweet potatoes. But we bypassed this little raspberry bush. Is finally producing this year. Just a few little raspberries. But that's hopefully, well, we'll let those ripen up a little bit. If we ever get Raymond out here to have some. Save him a couple. But again, yum. This is one of those that said good for containers. And I thought it was because it's just a short mounding raspberry. It's nothing fancy. Hey, Patch. And apparently it's good for containers because this one little plant that I planted has spread exponentially. And I thought I kind of had it figured out that it spread just as far as these boards. I set boards on either side so I wouldn't walk on them. But then look what I found. Although this looks like a different kind. So maybe it's not from that one. But anyway, this is another lovely. These pole beans grew way up there. I'm going to guess, based on the length of some of my longer bamboo poles, that is 16 to 18 feet high up there. And I don't know if you can tell, but that one vine is just growing off the end of it. All those beans up there will end up being my seed beans. But it's already growing lovely little beans. So, alright, peppers. So, here's my little pepper patch. These habaneros, I'm still not seeing a bunch of fruit on here. Oh, wait, yep, there is some. Hold on. Right down there. Alright, so I will get at least one habanero that I grew from seed. These are the chiltepins. They're an itty bitty pepper that will ripen to red. These were, I bought these because they said the chiltepins are the original source of hot peppers. And these are from Southwest US. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to have some of those. Only a few seeds in each one, so we'll see how that goes. The Buena Mulatas, beautiful as always. There's one down in there getting ready to change color. These are long thin cayennes. They're doing great. These are little chili peppers. They're standing upright. They're kind of cool looking when they get going. And then these are the, oh goodness, these are the mammoth jalapenos. But I picked most of those the other day. I left a few to get bigger. These are the early jalapenos. And I left a few on here. See if any of them will turn red. These are Anaheims. And these are Poblanos, which are leaning over into the Anaheims. These are the Pasilla Bajios. They look very similar to the Shishitos. And they're actually planted right next to the Shishitos, but they're a little wider, I guess, a little broader. The Shishitos tend to stay kind of narrow. These are the Shishitos. I'm going to wait and see if some of these will turn red. And then we have the banana peppers, which are looking lovely. And then the beautiful variegated little sugar, what do they call this? Candy cane bell pepper with little variegated fruits on it that I had to put a couple stakes on because it fell over. These are going to be red bell peppers. That will be an orange. And then these are going to be a mix of baby bells. So we'll see how those go. This used to be a potato bed, both of these. It was so overgrown with weeds. I finally got that weeded last night. I know, people are wondering why I have toilet paper in my garden. There's a good reason. I made seed tapes out of toilet paper and basic flour and water to hold the seeds in place. So the ones on the right are bunching onions. There's 4 rows each, the red at the top and the white at the bottom. And then I think there's 6 rows. The top half of the carrots, 3 rows on the left are Black Nebula, 3 rows on the right are, I'm going to say it wrong, it's some foreign name, Long Rouge Saying or something like that, I don't know, but they're beautiful ombre carrots. And then the ones down here at the bottom are Rainbow and Kaleidoscope mix. And then, let's see, this bed probably has the kale and the Swiss chard, some lettuce, some spinach, some orach, stuff like that. I think I put a smidge of radish on the far left and a smidge of beets on the far right. Just to throw a bunch of seeds in, see what would grow, see if anything had time to produce before winter. This is, well, today's September 1st. I planted these up yesterday. Super, super late. Probably only 45 days left in my season. I meant to get out here around the 15th and do it, so I'd have 60 days. Got distracted. Didn't get it done, but I thought, what the heck? We'll throw the seeds in the ground. If anything grows, great. Some of it is cold hardy, so it might continue to grow even if we get a couple frosts. Over here, I have some bush beans, royal burgundy on the right. Then I threw in some okra seeds, again, just to see if anything would even grow. In the middle, I threw in some brassica seeds, and then, what was that, peas, and then some dragon tongue beans. As far as brassicas, there was purple sprouting broccoli, some cauliflower, some Brussels sprouts, regular broccoli, and a couple cabbage. So we'll see if any of it grows. This weed patch and my strawberry bed over on the other side of the arches are my next weeding project. I don't know if I'll get to it today or not, but we'll see. Sweet potatoes are looking lovely. They're starting to spread. It's funny, some of these leaves are turning yellow, but it's still putting out new growth of the pretty purple leaves. My melons, I'm loving it. These are Ukrainian purple and chocolate cherry tomatoes growing up. There's one little lemon cucumber on this poor little plant here. This one never did anything. I did get some calendula blooming on both sides. Nothing's grown up over the arch yet, but they still grew. Over here we have the Kiku chrysanthemum melons and the Tigger melons, which I'm so excited for. And then over here we have the Kajari melons. And this is supposed to be yard-long Armenian cucumbers, which I did get one small one off of here, but I'm really not seeing, I don't think, any more actual cucumbers growing. Lots of flowers, but no. Oh, well, right here. There's one. Alright, I might get one or two off of here yet. We'll see. Little zinnias. And a big zinnia. Basil's not liking being tucked in here. I don't blame it. Probably wasn't a good spot for it. The fennel went crazy. Both the bronze fennel and the regular fennel. And they are both falling over onto the black pearl peppers that are down in here. This purple sage, or pineapple sage, is just amazing. Speaking of purple sage, there is a variegated sage and a purple sage tucked down in there also. Can't hardly tell. This red bee balm didn't actually end up doing anything. I'll have to go around the other side to show you the pretty and sweets. That lemongrass turned out lovely. Pulled all the extra weeds out of that stump, and the hens and chicks are doing okay. They're not pretty red like they were before. That has sort of jungled over, so I'll go back here through the arch. Hello, chicks. This poor strawberry bed. Yep, it's a strawberry bed. I promise you. There are strawberry plants down here. I just picked a couple strawberries off it this morning and ate them. Everything's falling apart with this bed. But the spices and herbs and stuff down here. Rosemary is still looking lovely. Here's more of the sage, purple sage and variegated sage. And look at the lovely, pretty and sweet peppers. They even have an orange one down there. It's turning colors. Lovely. I'm hoping to get some seeds off of this fennel. I've never done it before. But if there's a seed for every flower, I should have plenty. That'll be nice. I'm not sure how it produces seeds. I don't know if it makes pods, if it makes seeds on the flower heads. I will have to do some Googling and find out. Very similar to dill. They're beautiful flower heads. So, anyway, I don't know if you can see the black pearl peppers over here. Let's see. I know they're in there, but they're hard to tell. Everything got overgrown. This is another little weedy patch. Nothing's planted here, but it's still a mess. Over here, this bed is still looking lovely now that we finally got one completely weeded and wood chipped and taken care of. These purple tomatillos seem to be holding each other up. Little bitty pineapple ground cherry down here, along with little zinnias. A few of my defunct flowers have put on flower heads. Habaneros are doing well. Raspberry, some thyme and stevia, another one of my little defunct flowers. Other side has some tarragon and stevia. Some of those flowers are greening up and looking like they might do something if they have time. These gobstopper tomatoes, bless their little hearts, they're not going to produce anything, but they have almost tripled in size from when I put them in there. So that works for me. The other side, there's some basil. It started to grow. Little amaranth that started to grow. The elderberries. A couple zinnias and apple gourds. The zinnias still don't look amazing. They're growing. The apple gourd, this one on this side, is probably tripled in size since I put it in there. The other one's just barely started growing. Again, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to produce. But I felt bad that they were still stuck in the greenhouse, so I stuck them in the ground. Accidentally left their soaker hose on overnight the other night, but it doesn't seem to have hurt them. I love the garden, especially first thing in the morning. I love it all day long, but just lovely. This morning is so nice and crisp. Just has a hint of fall in it. There's my happy place. I saw the most gorgeous little sign made out of a pallet that I showed the picture to Jocelyn and asked her, I said, hey, can you paint a pallet like this that says, welcome to my happy place? She said she could. So we'll see how that goes. I gotta find a good palette. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, all right. This concludes our garden tour of the morning. Y'all have a great day.